so you know what's around. Okay, welcome everybody. Everyone has a seat. That's pretty cool. Did we turn the music down? I can't remember. We'll just answer the show. Yeah. Welcome everybody to Open Mic Night number 114. We're getting up there. Look at that. I know, it was only... wasn't that long ago we did 100. My name's Kev Howlett. A lot of you know who I am, and I own and run Busybird with Les. So thank you for coming out and supporting us on... It's not really a winter's night anymore, but it's changing, so on a cold night anyway. So I'm not going to rattle on anymore, but can I just ask, I put it out on my video during the week, in our November open mic night, we usually do a theme and have a bit of a dress up and whatever. I seriously cannot think, I know Kylie's going to say pink or something again. I cannot think of a theme. We've done everything. So if anyone can think of a great party theme of dress up. We've done 80s, I think, haven't we? We've done come as your favourite author, favourite people. We've come as Les. If you have a think and get back to me and let me know anyway. So I'm not gonna rattle on too much. So I'll let Les, who is your MC for the night, come and tell everyone who's reading. So have a good night, sit back, don't forget there's lots of drink and food and all that for after all the presentations. So see you then.
Hey everybody, welcome to Busybird's Open Mic Night 114. Did somebody just come in late or?
Oh, let's all look around and embarrass them.
Yeah. It's a good idea. But just wait silently. Just stare at them, judging them. We always pride ourselves on being welcoming. Let's just change it around for a little bit. So I'm not going to read out the names in the order that they are here. We do mix it up because just in case you might get 5 poetry people come in a row. So, you know, we do like to mix it up. How much time are we giving people, Kev? 13. 4 minutes. All right, so 3 minutes 30. You will hear, and that means you have 30 seconds until your 4 minutes are up. And at 4 minutes, you'll hear. Now, you don't have to quit right then and there. You don't have to quit in the middle of the word, in the middle of the syllable. But, like, you know, feel free to finish the paragraph. But don't feel free to go, oh, maybe I'll just finish a couple more pages because at 4 minutes 30 you get this. And Carly is merciless, so she will keep doing it until she embarrasses you. So, okay, and if you have phones, please turn them to silent. And just please, out of respect for people who come up here to read, just keep conversation, if you're going to speak, keep it really quiet. Otherwise, just please respect everyone's performance. So, first up, I'm going to go with you, Eugenia. Where are you? Too early for you?
No, I can do it. I was just going to switch off my phone.
You can switch it? Okay.
I'm doing that.
This is the performance. It's live art unfolding.
Part of the performance, yes.
Yep. Cool.
Eugenia versus technology.
Cool. So, everyone, please welcome Eugenia. Eugenia.
Since I've got 4 minutes, I'm going to do 2 short poems. The first one is called My Father's Words. All right. I'm making the noises my father made when bending or getting into my car. I can't seem to get from sitting to stand without huffing and saying, "Oofa." I'm muttering the words that my father would say when my patience has been stretched much too far. When I witness disruption, corruption and pain, I shout, "Fa schifo dav diavolo." I used to laugh at my father's quaint words when I was young, naive and carefree. But through life's bitter lessons, I now understand my father's words can have meaning for me. Cool. And this poem's called Aging Gracefully. I cannot grow old gracefully. For me, it doesn't feel right. My brain says skip and dance and jump. My body says no, sit tight. My mind's eye harks back to my younger years, having fun in carefree simplicity, when the worst thing that could happen was a bump or a bruise or a scratch or a graze on my knee. I long to join in at adventure parks, run wild and free as children often do. But when I try to swing on the monkey bars, my back wails, "This is not for you." My knee groans, "Mind your bursitis." My shoulder moans, "I'm starting to spasm." "Carpal tunnel," screams my wrist. I could really use some painkillers now if you have them. I simply cannot grow old gracefully, though my physiotherapist insists that I must. Should I do as I'm told? I hate growing old, so I play till my bones turn to dust. Thank you. Watch the best side of me.
Thanks. There's only a handful of 20-somethings here. It just reminds me of, like, you know, when you're young and you look at your parents and think, I'm never going to do that. And then you get to that age and it's like, I'm totally now doing that. Carly, Hylan, welcome to your future. Jen, you have some prose to read. Everyone, please welcome Jen.
Slight change of pace. But just one update, I've got the images for my book today, so it's coming. I'm really excited about that. This is just something that is carrying on from my so-called novel. So if we remember, Dolores has been shot as she took the stage. She is a motivational speaker. Only she knows who the shooter is. So this is day 2 post-surgery. Dolores wakes early. It's still dark. The nightmare. Always the same nightmare. This morning, Pete isn't there to hold her body as it convulses. Sweat pours from her brow and vomit rises in her throat. She heaves for breath. The sutures pull. It hurts. In a post-incubus haze, the room is alien. All the switches, tubes, monitors, and the smell. Antiseptic and something earthy, ugly. A face hovers in the corner. His face. It scowls as always. It speaks. Told you you'd end up a wreck. You're nothing without me. This is what you get for wanting to be special. It spits out the last word. Dolores pushes herself into the bed. It lets out a whoosh. The air mattress serves to alleviate pain and to prevent pressure sores. Nothing will ease the pain of what's come and what he did to her. The years of degrading her to the point of not wanting to live. He scoured her soul wide with terror. She recalls her mother's in her own mother's tongue, occhi spalancati. She wants to, but she's too weak to respond. What's new? That's what he craved when they were together, to mollify and to deconstruct any remnant of her being. Pete, where are you? She pleads. No answer. Only hot, fiery, ugly, guttural breath trying to inject poison into her eardrum. A hand. A soft touch. The voice disappears, and Angel Jake appears, his wings neatly tucked into the blue scrubs. Are you okay, Dolores? The monitor's gone crazy. Bad dream was all Dolores could eke out. Look at you, all tangled up and sweaty. We need to change, and we need to change you. So that was the foul smell. She was ashamed and disgusted. See what he did to me. Breakfast arrives, and Dolores feels a little better. She remembers the psychologist's strategy to deal with the nightmares. You have the power to change the narrative. And that's exactly what she did. The hovering head was the oval red Sharon at the AFL Grand Final. A poorly measured kick catapulted it into the goalpost. What a magnificent explosion.
Thanks, Jan. So you write children's books, huh? Michelle.
Yes,
You're revisiting us.
I am.
Yeah, happy news?
I have happy news.
Great. Let's everyone welcome Michelle.
Howdy, everybody. We all good? For those who don't know me, I'm Michelle Burke, and my book, Travelling with Cardboard Paul, is becoming a movie. Yes. Early stages. So we've got a writer, screenwriter or script writer, and we've had a lot of interest through distribution companies wanting, with the story. And last night I received an email from my producer who sent me the treatment. So the treatment is the backstory to the movie, and then from the treatment we go to script, and then that's where they send that out for funding and that type of thing. So that's where we're at. Anyway, that's the update. Yay! So it's getting exciting. For a moment there I thought, I haven't heard from him for a while, is it going ahead or not going ahead? But it is definitely going ahead. Tonight I want to talk about a famous uncle of mine. He was a poet. His name was Edward Harrington. I'm a Harrington. And I remember at school we were doing a poem from Edward Harrington, and I went home to Dad and I said, Dad, this Edward Harrington, he's not a family member, is he? He said, yeah, he's my uncle. I went, wow. So I've been doing a lot of research of Edward. So I'm just going to read a little bit about Edward and then just give you a little family, what I know about him. But Edward Philip Harrington was born on the 28th of September 1895 and died on the 28th of May 1966, so I was 6 years old. I never got to meet him. Was an Australian poet and short story writer, the last of the bush ballads. He was born in Shepparton in central Victoria. Harrington was the fourth child of Philip Harrington, a farmer from Ireland, and his Australian wife Margaret O'Brien. Edward Harrington served in Palestine with the Australian Light Horse during the First World War and took part in the charge of Busybird. He was discharged in 1919 with a reparation pension, and he needed medical attention for the rest of his life. Harrington was a founding member of the Australian Poetry Lovers Society and the Bread and Cheese Club. He is generally referred to as the last of the bush ballads. And I'm lucky, so his books you can't get anymore, but I'm trying to sort something out. But this is one of his books, A Swagless Swaggy. He had about 4 books, and I was lucky that this was Dad's copy, and it was signed by my great uncle, so rare find. But you can't get them anymore. I was lucky to get another one of his books. But just a little bit of family insight. He never married. He had no kids. I just found out from a cousin that, because I put it up on a Facebook post, and she connected with me, and she's a cousin. And she told me that apparently when he died, the family was cleaning up all his possessions, and he had sketches and writings and all these works, and they didn't think it was worth any value, and they threw it all out. I know. He died with $10,000 in his It was $10,000 he had, and the sad thing about it is he's buried in Fawkner as a pauper, and so when I went to the cemetery to sort out Paul's plot, I went searching around I love going to graveyards. You find out so much history in graveyards. I love it. And with Uncle Ted's grave, it's only got a little card on it saying that's where he is. And when I saw it, I just cried, because around the corner, his parents are buried in this big ornate marble type of stone. But so I went there and I just cried, and I thought, for a poet who was famous, and he is still famous because I did a lot of research with him. I thought it's really sad that he was buried with no stone or anything. So I'm hoping when the movie goes bang gangbusters, I'm going to do something for him. And also, I'd love to I'd love to, if I can, to start getting some of his books back in print. But there's a copyright or something rather, and I don't know. I talked to Blaze a long time ago about it, but so that's it. So, but for all those budding authors and poets, let's go out with a slide out.
Give me a call tomorrow morning so I can find out what the copyright situation is.
Thank you.
Can you hold that book up?
Oh, sorry.
There's one thing I love about books as opposed to ebooks or audiobooks is you look at that, it's so worn and tattered and all that. It's got so much history and character just from its degradation, or deterioration. And that's an awesome thing. I love when I pick up a book and I go, it just tells a story in itself about where it's been, how long it's been around, who's read it, and all that sort of stuff.
And one quick one. You know the pub with no beer? Yep.
I would never have gone there.
He actually wrote it. He wrote it in a pub in Northern Territory. They'll be drinkers. Anyway, but he wrote it, and then he gave it to an American guy who then turned it into. So he got nothing out of it. Put it that way.
Such is the path of the artist, unfortunately. I mean, you look at Mozart, he's buried in the pauper's grave with, no one knows where that is. So, Shell, would you like to talk about your business? So a lot of you would have found little slips on your seats before you sat down today. Or as you... No.
I thought it was reserve signs.
I think Kylie is mooning you. Everyone please welcome Shell.
Hello everyone, I'm Shell. My thing is true stories, and I'm actually going to talk about what I do. You've all found a little bookmark on your seat today about my business. I'm an oral historian, and I take life story interviews. These bookmarks are for you to use as a bookmark or give it away to somebody who you think has an interesting story that's worth recording and just hasn't got around to it. I also want to show you what they get at the end of the interview. I've been playing around with packaging and I stumbled across this on Etsy. It looks like a book. Yeah. This is actually my life story interview. I thought I needed to put my money where my mouth was and actually do it myself. So I did. And mine's called Brave Life. Haha, that's my name. And it's got the date on it. You can also put the title here or your name, and voila, you open up and there's a USB. And that way you can't lose it down the bottom of the couch because it's within its own container and you can use it like a book on the bookshelf. Yeah? Yay! I want to talk about just very briefly why I do this. It's a passion. I studied history to write my dad's story. I was originally really interested in biography and life writing. My dad was one of 500,000 children over 100 years to be placed in institutional care, called the Forgotten Australians, not to be confused with the Stolen Generation, separate thing. And he never spoke about his life. It was a shame, it was a tragedy. He would cry even if I asked about my grandmother, because he didn't grow up with his family. I went to study how to write that biography, and along the way I stumbled across oral history, which was one of my core subjects, and I loved it better than the writing. So that's how I got into this. For those who know me on a personal level, I've been decluttering for many years, and I've found that having less is more. And one of the things I stumbled across while I was cleaning out the backs of my cupboard were some cassette tapes. I was one of those kids from the 70s. Yes, I am that age. Maturity does help with this kind of work, by the way. And I found a cassette tape. I used to be one of those kids on the weekend who'd press record and play together to record the songs illegally. Yeah, there's so many people nodding right now. So I had lots of 80s songs on this cassette tape, and on 2 of them I stumbled across where I'd recorded my parents at different times. And I've got 5 words from my dad, who passed when I was 11 years old. And he said, "Shell, turn that thing off." And that's all I've got. I misremembered how he sounded. I thought he was angry. I thought he was irritated, but he was even. He was even-tempered about it, and he spoke to me with dignity. He just said it straight, but I misconstrued it in my own mind, and that's why I think it's so good to have the recording of someone's voice. Sorry, I'm getting a little emotional. And then I found another one of these cassette tapes, again with lots of songs. It's about an hour worth of songs. And again, I'd taped over quite a lot of recording of my little friends as we played little songs together. And then there was one of my mum. And I'd actually done an interview with my mum for a project at school about toys, war toys, and whether she thought as a school teacher and as a parent, if those war toys engendered some sort of violence in children. So you've all got one of these. Please pass it on to whoever you think wants to tell their life. Don't wait for them to get old. Don't wait for them to get old. Thank you for listening.
Thanks, Shell. Can I add 2 things? Like my dad, which I only found out when he had dementia, was he was taken by the communists just around World War II to fight the Greek government, which I never knew. He disappeared for a year, and he was returned. And then one of my cousins was talking about like all their uncles and aunts, because they all had these terrible backstories, and they're lost because these people have died of dementia. So don't wait until they get old. It's don't wait until they're gone, because then you can never get these stories. And I think that's a really important thing. And the other thing is like recording songs from the 80s. How fucking annoying was the DJ would talk over the intro of the song.
Yes. Stop.
Yeah, and then when you had that one time you had the song and they didn't speak, it was like, yes, the untarnished version. Carly. So Carly is going to come up and read from her children's book, or the children's book she illustrated, Bob the Blob. Everyone please welcome Carly.
Hi everyone. So I think last time I was here we were talking about how it had just been published. So this is Bob the Blob. This is... Thank you. No worries. So I'm going to read it out. I'm going to do it, so I'm going to read it and then show it, because I can't do the thing where I'm not a school teacher. I can't do that. So bear with me. So it is called Who is Bob the Blob? Deep, deep down in the ocean, where the water was dark and cold, lived Bob the Blob. Bob was a blobfish, and not a very happy one. Other sea creatures thought he looked strange, with his droopy face and jelly-like body. Bob wished he could be someone else, someone fun, someone exciting. One day, Bob had an idea. If I can't change who I am in real life, he thought, I'll just change who I am online. Bob swam to his cave where his old computer sat. So just to stay in belief, pretend that, laptops can work underwater. Bob typed quickly, creating a brand new identity. His new name, Clancy the Clown. His new look, a bright, cheerful clownfish. His new story, he was 8 years old and he loved playing soccer and video games. This is perfect, Bob grinned. Bob logged into an online game, searching for someone to play with. He spotted Harry the hermit crab. Harry was a small crab with a big shell and an even bigger smile. He looks like a good friend, Bob thought. Bob, pretending to be Clancy, sent him a message. Hey, you're really good at this game. Want to be friends? Harry was thrilled. He loved making new friends. Sure, he replied. Let's play together. The two played for hours, racing and battling in the game. Bob laughed and cheered. But soon, Bob wanted more. We should meet in real life. Harry thought about it first. Maybe I should ask my mum, he said. Bob's smile vanished. Oh, there's no need to do that, Bob typed quickly. Let's just meet at Coral Park tomorrow, just you and me. Harry hesitated. His mum always told him to be careful online, and not to trust strangers online. But why wouldn't Clancy want me to tell my mum he wondered? Something didn't feel right. Sorry, Harry typed. I need to check with my mum first. Bob slammed his computer shut. This kid is too smart, he grumbled. Realizing he couldn't trick Harry, Bob deleted Clancy's profile and swam angrily back into the shadows. At dinner, Harry sat down next to his mum. Mum, I made a new friend today, he said. That's great. Who is it? She asked. Clancy the clown. We played games online and he wanted me to meet him at the Coral Park tomorrow. But when Harry opened the game, Clancy was gone. That's strange, he said. Mum put her arm around Harry. You did the right thing telling me. Some people pretend to be someone they're not. If someone ever asks you to keep a secret online, that's a warning sign. Harry nodded. I get it now. When you're online, don't get caught in a fishy situation. Not everyone online is who they say they are. No worries, and that's the end of the story. There's also like a little fact page, a little safety quiz as well, and some colouring in pages as well. So if you did want to grab that, that is on Amazon. Thank you.
So where can they get that, Carly? Amazon? And if anybody needs an illustrator, where can they contact you? Okay, carlyscribbles.com.au. It's a really cute moment where you're holding the book up and going like this, and Oscar was just watching it. You're just standing right here. I think the funniest bit was where you said, imagine laptops can work underwater. It's not the blob operating the laptop. That's not your separation from reality. It's that the laptop might not work underwater. Oh, we'll see blobs every day. Thank you. Simon, you're going to read an excerpt for the love of an old man. Geez, we've got a theme going happening tonight. Everyone, please welcome Simon.
Thanks, Les. Evening, everyone. This is from the novel I've been working on. I've just ticked over 100,000 words, so it's getting close to completion. A few chapters left, but nearly there. So it's about my main character, Jay, steals his grandfather's memories. It's in the future, set 90 years into the future, where downloading your memories is possible. And he goes about stealing his grandfather's memories to find out some secrets. And I'm like George Lucas, I'm going to start with chapter 4, because why don't we jump in there? I did read early parts, maybe a year or so ago. So there may be bits you might remember, but possibly not. Chapter 4, The Magnet Car's Spell. Jay stood on the gravel footpath. His 10-year-old white Mag 4 carriage glided to the pickup point in front of Hotner. It joined the line of white, orange, red and black magnetically hovering vehicles. The white wall tyres of an old silver classic with wire wheels displayed the distinctive air protrusion of a pre-mag vehicle. He climbed into his carriage, completely content. He could be anywhere in Terra Manor. In the distance, the skeletons of the late capitalist Melbourne City reached skyward through the early afternoon haze. He looked up through the roof into an endless turquoise. Those eyes. He felt a pang of guilt that Lily could be blamed for the missing discs he had taken. How long would it take them to discover them gone? He tapped the pocket of his tunic and was comforted by the muted jingle of the discs. Is this what it was like to carry money? Despite the reassurance, it alarmed Jay to think that at any moment the discs could slip out of a hole in his pocket, or be jolted out by a bump in the mag rails or the road. He could not control those incidents and it distressed him. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow, his nan would say. Bloody Beth. He could sort of understand his grandfather holding a secret, but not Nan. Not something this big, especially not pretending to be his biological grandmother. The nerve. Ahead, the launch site at the federal territory of Field City loomed on the opposite side of the Moonee Ponds Valley, like an archaic fortress firing its trebuchets against a sieging enemy. What would it be like in a pod, and actually travelling, rather than loading memories? The pods were known to reach 3G rectangular discs. Upon touch, they felt much larger than an inch. Their contents, he hoped, would have the answers to so many questions, fill the gaps in his knowledge of his family's past, and give him a sense of where he sat in the world. Out the window, the sun sat above the dirty film of air that clung to the earth, and it cast a beautiful golden light. On the shortest days, it was a burnt orange at its brightest, and only on the longer days did it venture high enough to shine a whitish light, and that only lasted until the first of the bushfires tarred the earth and feathered the sky. We'll leave it there. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. So you said 100,000 words, you almost finished. How much more do you think of? 15,000, okay. So it's still a little bit of a way to go. Enjoying it?
Yeah, it's been great.
Oh, cool.
Especially the last couple of months.
What's happened the last couple of months that wasn't happening previous to that?
I just got over a part where I was trying to write a section that I was going to cut it out anyway, so I was trying too hard to work on something that just wasn't flowing.
I think that's really instructive too, because there's a lot of times you're not going to click with what you're writing. It's just sort of getting through that moment back to what you feel true about the story. Oh, well done. We're going to call the raffle soon, so you're to get on the raffle ticket if you paid to get in. And Shell jumps up. Anyone miss it? And these are the prizes. We're going to load you up with sugar. You're riders. It's sugar and tea. That's really the diet of everyone, isn't it? Don't have to look for it right now. I'm going to call it in a little bit. So, like, I've actually preempted it a little bit just to make people aware. Ruja, what are you going to read for us? A poem called Us. Ruja's got 2 collections, and one of them is translated, and she's working on her 3rd book, a collection, an anthology of poetry and stories. Yes? Oh, 4th project. All right, cool. So she's got 2 more projects on the go. Everyone, please welcome Ruja.
Good evening. 6 years ago, my husband and I celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary. And I wrote this to read we had a big celebration, and it's called Us. Oh, how young we were on that rainy day, year 1969, so long ago, when so happily we boarded the train of marriage and went on our way. Journey, life together, destination unknown. I was 19, you were 21. Both of us so very keen. Some disagreed, thinking us a touch too green. We traveled the world, fast, slow, fast again, through excitement, clouds, some rain, occasional thunder, beautiful light, warmth, happiness, laughter, and much wonder. At train stations, different people came. Our children and grandchildren, family and relatives, friends and others. Some left, I must say, but many stayed till this very day. We are here. Let's celebrate our moment. Not 5 days, not 5 months, 50 golden years, which deserves some cheers. How, you ask, what is our secret sauce? Answering that is an easy task. Then and now, our love was and is an almighty driving force. And just 2 weeks ago, we actually celebrated our 56th. So there you go. So getting married, when we decided to get married, my little town was whispering behind our back, she must be pregnant. And the other half said, no, that will never last. So there you go to them. And this is a nice finger. Have I got time just to tell you? I was driving from work. I used to work at Reservoir Private Hospital. Coming home down Cheddar Road, 2 bits of a street and blend into one at the roundabout. And I was on the right one. And the boys, about 4 young ones in the car, were trying to cut in front of me. And I thought, oh no, you won't. So little bit by little, I just ahead. And then when they had no chance of getting in front of me, I turned around to them and went like this. They absolutely laughed. And he said, no, that's not the right one. And I thought, well, do you think I don't know? Anyway, that's that. Good news, I got a message from a publisher in Croatia. Another short story has been accepted for publishing. Yes. So there you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Marisha. 56 years. So if you split up now, one of those people go, see, I told you it would never last. That's beautiful. 56 years.
Yep.
And you've written a poem to commemorate all that time.
Well, actually, a lot of my work is inspired by him and about him.
Cool. That's beautiful. I won't make any jokes. I had like about 4, but I can't use them now. Sorry. Imagine trying to follow this up. Steve! Stevie D, who is Peter McDonald? And by the way, you were going to have a book launch in August, and that's gone. What's happening?
Well,
November.
Give me a week in November that you this place and
I'll talk to the boss.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, cool. Everyone please welcome Steve.
Okay. I'm going to talk about, this is my novel, Pope Dreams, Pope Peter the Improbable. And the premise of the novel is that the Pope dies, and on the night of his funeral, all the cardinals have a dream where they see the next Pope. And the person they see as the next Pope happens to be this Irish fellow called Peter MacDonald. And Peter MacDonald, who's the lead protagonist in the novel, He's a 42-year-old town planning manager for a municipality in Dublin Ireland. He's married to 39-year-old Mary for 18 years. They have 6 children, ranging in age from 2 to 14. And he and Mary are active members of their local Roman Catholic Church parish, which is St. Stephen's. Peter has been on the parish pastoral council for almost 10 years and has served on the diocesan pastoral council for 4 years. So I wanted to make this a bit of a Q&A. So I'm putting it out to you guys to give me some questions on how I came up with this character and why he is what he is. Now, they never officially married, no.
Not officially?
No.
Oh, okay.
So the Borgias had, like, yeah.
Okay.
So they never officially married.
Okay.
So he actually did become Pope in the story, I assume?
That's a bit of a spoiler, but but yes, if you head to the sequel, it sort of gives that away anyway.
Steve, I think it's in the title, Pope Peter the Improbable.
Yes.
Sorry, one more thing. Sorry. It's not your book. Your T-shirt is absolutely love it.
Thank you. Yes. I've got a reputation for that. Anyway.
Yeah. So many books in the series?
There's 3 books in the series. I'm working on book 2 at the moment.
So what's the journey of the character?
Well, the journey of the character is interesting because spoiler alert, he gets the job. And the issue is what he does with it once he's got it, or what he can do once he's got it.
Now, what's the journey of the Vatican?
That's the bit I don't know. I've sort of, because I've solved this. I'm actually an engineer by profession. So the whole thing with this story is I started from a supernatural premise where they have this dream, and that he appears in the dream. From there, it all had to be a logical progression as to how he gets through. So, I guess he's taking the view that, he's not tolerant to that.
You said the movie The Cardinal?
Yes. So a lot of the political ramifications in that are similar to what's in my book. Yeah. That was really interesting. Yep. I've got a priest who's a fan. I've got at least one priest who's a real big fan. Certainly anyone on the progressive side of the church is aware of it. Certainly I've been doing a bit of stuff I've been boosting my posts on social media lately. And I'm getting some really interesting interactions there from some conservatives who, yes.
So, last question, so we're almost out of time, but any fears that they're going to rub you out?
That is a distinct possibility. That's something he has to be aware of. And one of the reasons why I sort of made him a town planner in local government is he does have some experience with dealing with bureaucracy and politics. Corruption. So yes, and working his way through that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I get to work.
November launch, yeah. So we'll pick a weekend in November, and it will happen.
Like I told Michelle, give me a call. See what
Yep.
timeline.
Yep. Yeah, I do.
See what happened? I made fun of the Vatican and God smote me. Thanks, God. Couldn't they just kill me in a car accident like a normal God?
Not an old man sitting up there in a chair.
Nah, if it was an old man, you'd use something like a tram. All right, we're going to do the raffle. So everyone get your raffle tickets out. And there's 2 colours this month. How exciting. So there's a whole sugar rush here. I'm sure people of my age are going, I think I'm a borderline diabetic, so that's probably going to help. But it will taste good. All right, here we go. This one. I can tell you it's yellow. 77.
Thank you. Oh, it's
You were the last person in. And you've taken it off.
It's called cheating.
Cool.
Thank you very much. Which
All
one
right.
do I take?
Both. They're both
God,
yours.
seriously?
Yeah. But not the
Thank you very
not the
much.
stand, yeah.
No.
Thank you. All right, cool. Thank you.
Definitely. Okay. That's lunch sorted for tomorrow.
Yeah. Cool. So you can sit back and relax.
Oh, yeah. And just
Yeah. So next reader, Peter.
He's a funny guy. Oh, boy. Okay, the Oscar goes. Oh, no. Sorry. Oscar. Oh, got a microphone. Hello. I hope I don't go over time. I churned out a few flash fiction-y things recently. And as you can see, they're wonderfully organised. Hang on, sorry. Just realised I couldn't find my stapler before I left, so they're all over the shop. Anyway, this is a quickie, a 460 word, so you won't suffer for long. Excuse me. This one's called Heart. Simone decided to live with the elephants. There's no great catastrophe in her life, not a divorce, a death in her family. She still had a job. There was no great message from the universe. She was just watching a David Attenborough documentary on elephants one night with her husband, a kind and rich man, when she stood up and, with no more excitement than when making a cup of tea, picked up her wallet, phone and jacket, walked out of the house and called an Uber. In a week, she was in Thailand, sleeping in a hut in an elephant refuge. She did not enjoy the rough living, the infrequent showers, the lack of air conditioning, and food that was far too hot and spicy for her taste. But she'd made a decision, and she's going to stick with it. The elephants, of course, were magnificent, as awe-inspiring, as humbling as she imagined. Crapola. I'll read one of them. Don't want to overdo it. I don't know which is. No, I don't know which is the better one. I'll try this one and see what happens. See if no one's got tomatoes in the audience. No. Okay. This one's called Stones. Stones. Because her home was 2 hours walk from the town, Annabelle only visited it every couple of months to buy goods she could not make herself. Her path would take her through the thick forest that surrounded the town and grew even in the town itself. Her regular visits meant that she could clearly see the changes in the town, how it was growing so quickly, how wealthy it was getting. She also saw the number of homeless people growing. Every 2 months, she would count the people lying on the pavement, some half asleep, some holding out their hand with begging eyes, some just staring into nothing. She would glance at them as she walked by, then hurry on. The numbers increased with each visit. On one visit to the town, she passed a small boy who was collecting stones and collecting them into a small pile. His mother was squatting them against the wall of a First International Commercial Bank in the shade of an elm. While her boy was focused on his building, she had one hand stretched out towards Annabelle. Annabelle stopped and looked at the boy's construction. One stone rolled off the top of the pile and stopped at her feet. She bent down and handed it to the boy. He took it without thanks or looking at her. Her mother thrust her hand at Annabelle again with angry impatience. Annabelle dropped a gold coin into her hand and quickly walked off. Carrying the bolt of cloth she had bought from the town's market, she arrived home, dropped the cloth onto the kitchen table and slumped into a chair. The boy and his mother had stayed with her, but the little pile of stones obsessed her. In her mind, those stones grew and transformed, rearranged themselves, and the pile became enormous. She slept. When she woke, she made it to the small... How much is it? Enough time? I don't know what this bells mean. I wasn't there. I was late. When she woke, she made her way to the small hut her father had built many years ago. Her father knew something about chemistry, geology, and something he called the knowledge. He did not tell her what the knowledge was, but she knew there were books in the hut. She spent the next 4 weeks reading those books and experimenting with the ideas written in them. When she emerged from the shed on a morning that was bright and clear, she carried a large bottle and a sack of small grey stones. With a determined stride, she made her way into town. Once she reached the outskirts of the city, she placed a bottle and bag of stones on the ground, then dug a small hole, removed one stone, opened the bottle and dripped 3 drops of liquid onto it. Then she placed a stone into the hole and covered it with a little earth. Quickly packing up the bottle, and she ran to the safety of a tree and watched. In 1 minute, the earth was covered. I don't know what the wasn't happening. Is that it? Oh, fart. Sorry, I didn't wear. Right. And she dies in the end. So actually, this is the bad thing in the beginning.
Maybe next month.
Subscribe to my podcast.
So I was actually trying to catch your eye too, because you actually did come in after the instructions, after I explained all the instructions, and you came in a little bit late, so you totally missed the bell warning and the emergency fire warning. So only one of those, only one of those could get you killed, and that's right, it's the bell. Okay, Anki, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. You have poetry, lines and bridles. Everyone, please welcome. First time here, right?
It's the do-si-do, isn't it? Okay, give me a second. I had it on a piece of paper, but I've also got it on my phone, so we're safe. We're safe. This poem was inspired by COVID. So, among other things, during COVID, as a teacher, a whole bunch of things happened, but I also ended up on site with a very few amount of students at a secondary school, and I got to fly kites with them, which you don't get to do very often with students, because the oval is full of AFL football players and rugby players and soccer players, and oh my. And I found out that most of these kids don't know how to fly kites. So this poem is on that and something else. Lines and bridles. You see, the trick with kites is rather like the trick with running, always falling forwards but never falling down. The trick with kites is always throwing them away from yourself. The trick with kites is never pulling them to you against the air that is holding you apart, unless there's nothing holding you apart. The trick with kites is to loosen the lines when they yearn most for freedom. The trick with kites is to know a gift you give eternally to the sky, not a diamond to put into your pocket. The trick with kites is when they want to crash and burn, just let go. Let go. Loosen your fingers. Thank you.
I was looking that up as you're reading. I was thinking there's got to be like a virtual kite festival now or something like that where people are doing it all online, which just seems bizarre. And there is.
Oh, really?
Nobody, Kevin and I talk about it. It'd be like the movie WALL-E, where in the future everyone's just fat and sitting on banana lounges watching television, while droids do all the work and AI and stuff like that. I'd like a banana lounge. Kylie, you just launched a book, The Dragon Within. Is that what you're reading from? No. Oh, well, I just made a fool of myself. The poem is Too Great to Bear. The pain, sorry, not the poem. Worry. Everyone, please welcome Kylie.
Hello everybody, this is the book that I launched recently. I didn't make it to the last open mic night, which was just after the launch, but I have some copies if anyone wants to have a look through or get one. You're welcome, and they're here. So this is an unedited poem. I was hoping Krista would be here tonight, so she'd give me some advice, but anyway. Oh, thanks, that'd be great.
I never would have read that blazer.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, wrong one.
Too great to bear. The pain is far too great to bear. Leaching my bones to honeycomb, vices my chest, shortens my breath to unfulfilling wisps of air. It wrinkles my now craping skin, already worn so paper thin, and clogs the shower drain with hair. It's just not fair. The pain is much too great to bear. The weight of the world weighs heavy on my wearying frame. The slow disintegration of who I used to be, mirrored in the world around me and showcased frame by frame. I feel humanity suffering, the people in despair. The angst I feel inside myself, overpowering and incessantly there. The pain is more than I can bear. Every injustice a needle prick, soon I'll be a sieve. Everything I thought I knew about this world and my part in it, I can no longer conceive. The patterns of humanity, endless spirals of peace and war, twisted and tangled, irrevocably mangled, passed down to generations forevermore. Is there hope anymore? It feels like life is stripping parts of me onto the floor, slowly collapsing, threads unraveling, nothing precious or sacred left to fight for. As I age, I watch my vessel falling into disrepair. Autumn leaves are dropping, colours fading. The dank of winter fills the air. This pain feels so much more than I can bear. The world bereft of sympathy, devoid of love and care. Degrading civilizations, forgotten humanity. I call upon my ancestors. When did it go wrong and where? The answer comes in whispers. Upon a breeze it seems to sing. Remember, life's a cycle and the dark of winter always succeeded by the spring. And next, another lesson arrives like echoes across time and valleys away out there. This pain was never mine to own or carry. On this ride of life, it's just the fare. And if I have time, I found one of my favourite pastimes is thrift shopping, and I especially like the bookstore part or the book part. And I found this old book by Selected Verse of C.J. Dennis. Yeah, and I won't get through all this poem, but I just like the way he writes, and he brings this person to life just through the way he writes the words. Reading it is different because the words are written differently, but anyway, this is called A Woman's Way. Women is strange. You take my tip, I'm wise. I know enough to know I'll never know. The human female, or what surprise, they has in store to bring you boasting low. They keep you guessing what they're up to next, and then odds on it won't what you least expects. Take me, I know me wife can twist me round her little finger. I don't mind that none. What worries me is that I've never found which way I'm getting twisted till it's done. Women is strange, and yet I've got to own I'd make an awful ash of it alone.
Thanks, Kylie. Where'd that accent come from?
I don't know, it's just how I read it. Yeah.
So karate, Kyle is also a karate black belt and runs her own dojo. Do you teach the kids in that accent? That would be cool.
Sometimes I do.
Thank
you
you.
know what? Today I did this worst thing. I've got a class of 5 to 8-year-olds, and I'm usually really good. And I said, we do the same thing every day in the warm-up, but I went, stretch your heels. I would say toes and heels together. And I said, toes and hose. And they lost it. I kept saying during class, toes and hose.
You're probably going to get complaints tomorrow. It's like, what are you introducing our kids to hose for?
One of the kids said, what's a hose? I go, it's the thing you water your garden. Stop.
That's still actually applicable. David, you're continuing your novel, Eternal Symphonies. Everyone please welcome David. It's not doing the reading, no?
No. God, no. Okay, so this is a continuation on the first chapter of many. So basically, to summarise, Julian and Andrea, my protagonists, have received a high-profile case which has struck a chord with Andrea, given the fact that it hits a little too close to home, and they're out in the city discussing it. Right, so no doubt there will be another reinvention of the currency at the turn of the centennial. Anyway, where was I? Your parents, Julian replied. Andrea nodded and smiled. Dad was born in year 3 of the 94th edition of the city. Grandpa Harley would have been about 30, Grandma Rose 29. Dad had a voice that could melt your heart, a classically trained tenor. My mother was born in year 4. Grandpa Jack would have been about 33, I think, and Grandma Diane was 3 years younger than Grandpa. Mum always showed an affinity for woodwind instruments and grew up to become an expert flautist. Julian smiled as he continued to be engrossed in Andrea's story, appreciating all the little details as he figured that it was Andrea's way of never forgetting. The Avery in each district, which was where members of my family lived, where they played and practiced music to their heart's content, now and then they would band all together and jam, and I'd fly from district to district, spending time with them, staying with them, and I'd listen to them every chance I got. The perfect opportunity to distance myself from my notation studies. Well, one thing's for sure, Andy. You do take after your mother, as a flautist. Andrea looked at Julian with the utmost appreciation. Thank you, but in truth, I'm nowhere near her talent. All up, there are 40 of us, myself excluded. In my immediate family, though, there's 28 of us, uncles, aunts, cousins, nieces, spanning 4 generations. The other 12 are friends of the family, my best friends, and best friends of my siblings and parents. Songwood Protector, for instance. It was Mum's favourite. It resonated deeply with her passion for the harmonious connection between nature and music. She cherished the way melodies seemed to flow from the rustling leaves and the gentle whispers in the wind. It was in her eyes, we as musicians were not merely performers, but integral parts of nature within the city, weaving our songs into the vibrant tapestry of the world around us. Andrea smiled. Her eyes gleamed with awe. She couldn't help but resonate with Julian's description of his mother, as if she had known her all her life. Anyway, as Dad put it, the legend was the tree held the essence of every melody ever composed, making it a repository of musical history and a source of inspiration for musicians and artists. And that's where I'm going to leave it.
Thanks, David. I mean, would love to give you more time, but these interns are former interns are merciless. I used to do the bell years ago, and I felt like I always felt bad when I had to ding someone. But these two, jeez.
Well, that's all right. I don't mind the bell because it's a musical instrument, so it kind of fits.
Well, it's like watching Silence of the Lambs, but just with people who ding bells. And speaking of interns, we get interns from all over the world. We had Eleanor from Scotland, Josephine, she was from Hong Kong. I remember we had someone from England, and we've gotten someone from the furthest reaches of the world, which is New Zealand. And Ballarat. Everyone, please welcome Sarah with poetry. I Miss My Mum.
Hi, I'm Sarah. I had 2 goals in my writing this year. The first was to write a novel. The second was to, for the first time ever, read a piece of writing in front of everyone. I haven't started goal 1, and it's September. So I'm going to lock in on goal 2. This is my first time reading, and I am shitting myself. as you've heard, I am from the faraway land of New Zealand. I moved here in 2019. My whole family live in New Zealand, and as the title says, I miss my mum. Like a lot of daughters, I have a very complex relationship with my mum. I love her very deeply, and I clash with her very deeply. And I've tried to capture in this piece that feeling of missing her a lot, and also her really annoying me. So I miss my mom. I turned 31 in January, an Aquarius, if you couldn't tell. On the cusp, though, almost a Capricorn, a tough outer shell. Although, if you ask my friends, they'd probably say, when I'm being a bit sensitive, the Aquarian slips away, and I sound just like a Cancer. What if my mum gets cancer? What if my mum gets cancer? And I've spent the last 2,000 days, 2,000 kilometres away. FaceTimes of, hi, mum, you're upside down. No. Now I can't see you. Turn the camera around. Hang on, you're frozen. My internet's slow. Wait, you're on mute. Just forget it. I'll go. Not knowing if this call will be her asking, do we still have those rollerblades we bought you when you were 10 and you begged us to take lessons and then you gave up another hobby again? Or will it be something worse? Cancer, 20 stitches to the head. We lost the lottery by one number. Our dog's sick. Our dog's dead. A friend said to me recently, do you know that feeling when you're a bit off, you're reeling, and you realise you haven't seen your family for 2 or 3 weeks, and then when you do, you feel sort of complete? Well, yeah, I do. But 2 to 3 weeks becomes 6 to 8 months. And in the meantime, the other day, I saw a bird my mum would have loved flapping away. A pretty green thing with a crimson slash on its neck, chatting in the gum tree just above my deck. So I took a video to send to her. I lined it all up, but my camera couldn't pick up the green of the bird. In January, I have a grown-up job, a house and a husband and a dog. I do my tax return, I pay my bills, I water all my houseplants, I swallow all my pills. But I still need her because I don't know how long rice lasts in the fridge. Will it go mouldy? Will I poison myself? How often should I dust? How do I put together this IKEA shelf? I wish I could see my mum for a couple hours every fortnight. Maybe on a sleepy Sunday afternoon, and I'm eating her famous chicken soup with my favourite spoon, and I'm letting her tell a story I've definitely heard before about dear old Doris who lives next door, and her nosy cats, and a tree that needs trimming, and her son who Doris claims could have definitely gone to the Olympics for swimming. I wish I could see my mum for a couple hours every fortnight, not 24/7 when she's staying at my house and we're on each other's nerves before I've even had a chance to pull the vodka out. She asks pointedly what I've been doing with all my time. No, Mum, I haven't written a novel or touched my crochet or grown carrots from seeds or joined adult ballet. Work is going crap, I'm ready to quit, my life's a shambles, get over it. You can't brag about me to your book club crew. I haven't done any of the things a flourishing daughter should do. That's not what I meant, she says, bewildered. Of course it's not what she meant. But all I want is her approval, call it a youngest child flaw. I want to be perfect, be noteworthy. From Mum, I don't see as much anymore. Can I keep going? I've got a little bit more than a couple of minutes. Can I keep going? Okay, I'm going to keep going. I'm angry at myself for all the decisions I've made in haste. Like the time in Italy, I thought it'd be fun to choose a random gelato flavour. I closed my eyes and just picked one. From a menu I couldn't read, I was feeling very brazen, only it turned out I'd ordered rum and raisin. All the time, I impulsively moved to a faraway land, found work, built a life, made friends, met a man, and didn't give one thought to what I was leaving behind. Frontal lobe undercooked. I didn't worry. I didn't mind. I'm sad that I walk around with a gaping hole, a spot where there should be family barbecues on a blustery spring evening, losing to my brothers in Mario Kart and sulking, but they were cheating. A smile follows a rainbow on my niece's face as I pick her up from school because her mum was working late. Arguments, dance recitals, birthday cheer. I miss it all because I choose to be here. So why did I leave? I ask myself through tears. Why choose this path? Why live with all these fears? The truth, it comes bubbling when I least want to hear it. I didn't leave them for anger, for spite, for escaping. I left them because I could, because of the way they shaped me. And whenever I falter, my mum's words are right there, thumping in my bones, stretching ear to ear, telling me to live my life on my own terms, follow my own dreams, not hers. She raised me to be strong, to be brave, to be kind. I'm everything I love in her. I see it all the time. I miss my mum. I turned 31 in January. Each year I blow out candles. Instead of missing her less, I just miss her more. You know what? I should give her a call. I remembered where I put those rollerblades after all. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. I think a lot of people resonated with that. It's like a theme of the night. Yeah. I forgot to mention, Kev's streaming this live to Facebook. And Sarah, your mum commented, is that what you've been doing with your time? By the way, this is going up on YouTube ultimately, so if people don't want to be in that video for whatever reason, like they want it in West Australia or something, just please let us know beforehand. 2 more acts. We've got a singing act. Oh, that's quite a pump up. The Awkward Strangers. And they're just going to get ready quickly. I probably should give them a little bit of warning. Oh, it's a lot of stuff coming up. I've never seen a ukulele that looks like that.
Turn it on, yeah.
So does that like reach into the demon world or something?
Yep. Pretty much, yes.
Or somewhere worse?
It's a ukulele, they all do.
What's the electrified one do? That's like, gets you to New Zealand or something? You're not going to trash the set after you're done, are you? Well, anyone got any announcements while we're just waiting for preparations?
Me?
Elizabeth, how's your 3rd book going?
Oh, me?
Well,
Still at chapter 8.
apparently.
Apparently chapter 8.
Oh, okay. Peter, do you go for Richmond?
How dare you? This is, I'm at the no band, Der Rotten Punkt, the comedy duo, Der Rotten Punkt. Please forgive me, any German speakers in the audience. That's what I said. I think they're taking the piss out of Andy Warhol. But
Okay.
everyone in Melbourne thinks it's a Richmond.
No, I thought it was Richmond. I thought it was like a...
What? No, you're right.
well, I'm getting out of what you are.
I need the... Hi, I'm Andrew, this is Anka, we are Awkward Strangers. We're doing a song that's so new we haven't actually memorised the words yet, so we're all reading off pages. I might take the mic, if I've been... If that's there, yeah.
Anyone can play the song. Get a violin bow on a song.
That works? Okay, we'll just sing as per. Cool. When plum trees cast their blossoms wide, when I am still and you tongue-tied, when you are waiting by my side. Oops. Sorry, something's gone horribly wrong there. Very new song. There it is. When you crawl in on my bedside, when all the fallen leaves have dried, when it's too cold to go outside, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan. I'd call it a plan, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. When you are looking on with pride, when I am trembling, terrified, when every joy's intensified, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan, I'd call it a plan, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. When we walk by the riverside, when our love cannot be denied, when our heartbeats are amplified, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. I'd call it a plan, I'd call it a plan, I'd call it a plan, but I've met you. Thank you very much.
If you want a second one, we could do a second one, but we're not going to push it. Because it's going to take us a bit to
So I can understand with the ukulele, you know, you look for other ukuleles and you find that.
Yep.
But how do you actually get to play the saw? Is it like you were cutting a cat and you said, well, gut versus saw makes a good sound, let's push this?
There was a music hall shtick where people would come out with a musical saw and all the rest of it, and they'd sit on a chair, and the chair would be wobbly, and then they'd take the chair and cut off part of the chair to make the chair straight, and then they'd play the musical saw. But beyond that, it was actually it's a really interesting instrument because it comes out of peacetime, because these things get turned into swords. And then when the war is over, you turn them into saws. And then somewhere in the back shed you find one of these things. And someone goes, well, let's make music again. Right?
In whose shed do you find that thing?
This one we found in a music shop. So.
So do you have any gigs?
Well, that was my next question, Steve. Thanks for preempting me. Do you have any gigs?
We're sort of, this year has been our take a step back and do writing year, and we've managed to write 3 songs. We've got an album, you can get it on awkwardstrangers.com. It does not contain the giant mistakes that you already made before. We launched that in March last year at the Melbourne Ukulele Festival. We spent all of last year doing festivals and open mics and stuff.
Oh, cool.
And plugging that. And yeah, this year has been our just take it a bit easier.
And you found out about here because you went to Kylie's launch at Montserrat, so you're Montserrat. So I mean, that shows like the importance of community, and you know, you get the word out there and you get yourselves out there.
Yeah. Very cool.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
So in case I've missed anyone, I have one more person. Anyone didn't get their name down? Hyun. Hyun's one of our interns. She's finishing up next week. And she said to me, Les, about 3 months ago, she said, Les, I'm going to read. And this is back in June or something? And then she backed out. And it's not like I want to put pressure on her, but Hyun, would you like to read tonight? Okay. Sorry? Hyun, would you like to talk tonight? Paul! Oh, well, after that build-up, where do you go from there? Have you been to Africa? Why not, young man? Paul, I just have you going to come up and read some poems. So everybody, please welcome Paul.
Hey everyone. Is it possible to get this mic a bit higher? Or is it alright, is it? Yeah, alright, this'll do. Good, good. This is my book, Rats 2.0 I call it. It's Rats Live on No Evil Star. I've got to thank Kev and Les. Les just got on my back for about a year, going, when's the rat book getting republished? So eventually I got it together. And I'm going to read my poems from the book. This book is at least 10 years old, and a lot of the poems in there took me 10 years to write, so they're like 20 years old. And I was saying to someone earlier, I was reading some of it tonight and going, shit, I can't write any better than I did like all those years ago. But it's a different style, so fair enough. Okay, where do I start? All right. I was pretty feral back in those days. Bridges. 1. I wake up in the evening, rats tickling me, trucks passing. I look in the bathroom mirror and grin. Frightening. Oh well. I slouch down on the toilet, head in hands. I'm trying not to forget something. 2. Washing my hands. It's 2 a.m. and I'm preparing for bed. In the lather I see people, friends from years ago. I'm happy to see them, though I know we're not friends anymore. I dig my nails into the soap. I'm trying to get out as much dirt and shit as I can. I'm not saying I've outgrown you, I say to the soap. Where's the rest of it? Don't tell me it's gone. Hang on a minute. I've got it. It'll be under here. 3. I'm lying in bed and starting to warm up when I remember I haven't brushed my teeth. It's an effort, but I can make myself do things a little more these days. I'm still dysfunctional, I know. 4. I work the bristles around between my teeth and spit out toothpaste and blood. I've got a bridge. My front teeth aren't real. I smashed the real ones in. I was riding a bicycle stoned. My parents bought the bridge for my 30th birthday, $5,000. I said, I prefer a car. But they said it wasn't up for discussion, so I took the bridge. I'm no success story, but I'm not so bad. I could be worse, I say, and my words reverberate around the bathroom. Okay, here we go then. There's rat poems in here, wait for it. Misunderstood. I went into this bargain shop in Footscray and an Indian man came up to me. I asked him if he had any rat cages. He thought for a second, then led me down an aisle and pointed to a box marked rat poison. I told him, no, I didn't want to kill the rats. I wanted to house and feed them, but I don't think he understood. Toilet phobia. I have a kind of phobia when sitting on the toilet that makes me look between my knees. I expect to see a hand coming out of the bowl, see it pulling my intestinal tract out of my asshole, and down and around the U-bend until my kidneys and then my liver plops out into the bowl. I tell you, it's hard to do a shit when you think like this. Utopia. My utopia is in the mountains somewhere. I will have a log cabin and my rats can go outside and play. I'll sing snippets of songs my grandmother used to sing and wear an apron as I stoke up the wood fire stove. And then when the sun dims between the trees, I'll call my ratties home and they'll come running to my arms. We'll eat to our heart's content and then doze in front of the fire, all warm and snoring and furry. I guess I must leave it there. Thank you. Buy my book. Thank you.
I'm going to say that, Paul. I don't think anyone will ever sit on the toilet seat the same again. You know, somewhere in hell, devils just listen to that and go, well, that's a pretty good idea. Paul was the final reader for tonight, so our next open mic night is on the 15th of October, so it's a pretty quick turnaround. That's Kylie's birthday. Anyone got any announcements before we disperse?
Son of a donkey. Still doesn't have a release date. I blame the Jeffrey Epstein episode.
I blame him too. You don't have to leave straight away. There's food, there's drinks and all that sort of stuff on the table, so feel free to hang out, have a few drinks, chat to people. Just be mindful of any glasses on the floor, please, because we do have a dog walking around barefoot. So, if anything breaks, it is a risk to him. And he will hang around you wanting food. But, on behalf of Kev, me, Busybird Publishing, thank you for coming tonight and hope to see you all next month.